Hey guys, and welcome to my first ever podcast, Be So For Real, with your host, me, Ashley Sanchez. I can't wait to talk about topics that I feel aren't really discussed in today's world. Things like childhood trauma, family issues, and just behind the scenes of who I am behind social media. I'm also going to be having a different special guest on my podcast, getting to know them and their stories and how they make an impact in the world. Can't wait for you guys to join me on this new venture, and I look forward to being so for real. Welcome to Be So For Real podcast with your host, me, Motivate Me, Ashley. The unfiltered podcast where we dive into conversations everyone's thinking about but too shy to say out loud. From taboo topics to tough questions and conversations. I'm sorry, I couldn't fucking stop. I'm sorry. I don't know what triggered that. But she just has the fucking giggles. Okay. Was that a test? It's gonna fucking have to be. Hey everyone, and welcome to the Be So For Real podcast with your host, me, Motivate Me, Ashley. I promise you that's the last. I just look at Jeremy. Hey everyone, and welcome to the first episode of my podcast, Be So For Real, with your host, me, Motivate Me, Ashley. This is the unfiltered podcast where we dive into conversations everyone's thinking about, but everyone is too shy to say out loud. From taboo topics to tough questions and conversations, we're going to break it down, we're going to keep it real, and we're going to make sure that you feel seen and heard. So buckle up, stay open, and get ready to keep it so for real.
Yes,
I love the intro. It's so freaking good. Thank you. Today we have our special guest, my sister and my brother. I don't even know. I don't have enough words, but this is my brother, Jeremy Sandoval,
hey,
a.k.a. Bloody Blush. And this is my sister, Ziannah Zamora, a.k.a. Selling It With Zai.
I love it. Sold with Ziannah.
Sold with Ziannah.
Hey guys, I'm so happy to be here.
So they're going to share their plugs at the end, but we're going to get started today. And we're going to kind of just talk about a little bit of everything. We're going to kind of do our intro and bring it back to kind of from where we started to where we are today. For those of you who don't know us, you're going to get to know us. And for those of you who do and have missed us, you're going to get to know where we have been.
We're back.
We're back. Season 2.
Season 2. We're here.
Let's go. Okay, so getting into it a little bit, I want to start off with, where has everybody been? For those of you who know us, where have you guys been over the past few years since we were going crazy on Facebook Live, we were just kind of all over the place during COVID.
Right.
And then after that, we kind of like fell off with all of our videos. So I'm pretty sure people want to know, what are you doing now?
Such a good question. I'll start. So I think it's so funny whenever you bring back like the last 5 years, because we've had such transitional phases throughout those 5 years. So whenever I look back, I'm like, what the heck? Because we went from doing crazy live videos on Facebook, eating sardines, to build our community that you have now. So it's so cool to see. But for me, the past year, I've delved into a new career. But prior to that, I was working with my sister for a really long time. And this past year has been a very new experience for me, delving into real estate, delving into unknown waters. So it's definitely been fun. Right now, I'm all about real estate. So that's what I've been doing.
I love that for Zai, going on new adventures and
Period.
basically like growing up. Like you're in your 20s, you're learning new things, you're having new experiences. So I love that for you.
Yeah, I'm in my prime era of my 20s, so it's crazy.
Oh, I love that for you.
I know. What about you?
Well, I would say since the last time we've been very public, which was like Vito Loca days,
Right.
recording Facebook Live videos, I've been really focusing on my business, Bloody Blush, which is a cosmetic company. I branched out from just selling cosmetics to now selling handmade items like plushies, blankets, accessories. Everything's handmade from me. And I've been getting very into my drag career. Before I was doing a lot of digital drag. In the drag world, we call it a bedroom queen, which means that you are just taking photos in your bedroom, posting them on Instagram. But now I've been fully booked and blessed. I'm performing about twice a week now at the spots here in San Antonio. And It's been very, very busy, but I just love it so much. So it doesn't seem like work for me.
It's so crazy. I just want to interject because 2 years ago, Germ was saying how much he wanted to perform. I don't know if you remember that, but he was like, I want to, I'm just like not ready, but I'm going to be. And like now, like you're performing all the freaking time.
All the time.
Yeah. I remember that Jeremy did his appendix. You remember you had your appendix rupture and all that?
I did that appendix.
You kind of had like a come to.
I did. Yeah. So during Vida Loca, if y'all have seen that, it is a web series that we did with our whole family, filming the behind the scenes and the daily life of what it's like running a family business and getting more in depth of what we are going through in our personal lives. In the middle of the season, I had an appendix rupture, which took a while to figure out what was going on. It started off with like really bad stomach pains, and it was going on for like several months, just like having the worst pains, and had no idea what was going on. Went to several doctors and they were just telling me like cramps or whatever. And it turned out that my appendix was rupturing and I had to go to the hospital. I had a few trips to the hospital to fully go through all of that. And during that is when I really figured out myself that I am put on this earth for a reason. And I felt like I was coasting at the moment. And I was talking to y'all before this happened that I really wanted to start my own business. I wanted to create my own cosmetic company, wanted to combine glamour and horror together in one business and incorporate my drag at the same time. So I always put that on the back burner before all this happened. And when that appendix rupture happened, this doctor came to me, and this I will never forget. One of the doctors came in, and he had told me that it was the worst case of appendicitis that he's ever seen, that he's honestly surprised that I was alive, that I made it out alive. And then the nurse was with him, and she had looked at me in my eyes, and she was like, you are definitely here for a reason. You have a purpose in life, and don't forget that. And I was like, are you my guardian angel? Like, what is going on? Yeah. So from that moment, I was like, I can't just have these hopes and dreams and like hope that one day they'll just come into fruition. I have to make it happen. I have to do the work and make my dreams come reality. And that's when the whole business came up, and it's been doing very, very well. I've been traveling a lot from different cities to sell at trade shows, and with my drag career, it's been very interesting as well. I'm part of the only alternative drag house in San Antonio called the House of Eternas. And we've been all over the place, doing some community work, performing all around San Antonio. And we just got done doing our haunted house, which is San Antonio Urban Legends Haunted House, where you get to see like La Llorona, La Chusa, I Was Bloody Mary. And we got on the news a couple of times because of it, because no one has ever seen anything like that before. So just little things here and there that we're making our mark in the community is something that I'm very, very proud of, and I just can't wait to see where it goes from there.
I love that for you. I just want to say that I'm so proud of my brother and my sister. Over the past, I want to say, Vida Slim has been in business since 2017, and so we have worked together since pretty much the beginning of it. And then each of us have kind of ventured off and done our own things, and we have grown up literally in business and in life together. So to see my brother and sister thriving and succeeding and growing up as people and just like evolving, it's crazy. It's crazy to see you guys doing your thing, but I love it and I'm so proud of you, and that was always the goal to begin with. So I love that for you guys.
Because I feel like you said, we started in 2017. I was 17 years old whenever I first started working for you, and so both you and Jeremy have been like huge inspirations for me to start my own business and to be able to take that leap. I remember me and you had a conversation one time at Lucy Cooper's, and you were like, dude, like, what do you want to do? Like, you're wanting everything to be perfect, but done is better than perfect, is pretty much what you told me. Mm-hmm. And I remember it wasn't until a few years later that I took the leap, and I'm like, okay, like, it's my time now. You know what I mean? But just hearing everything and seeing what you guys did to create your business has definitely made me into who I am. So it's cool to see and be a part of.
We're all inspiring each other.
I definitely wanted to add to that. I feel like that leap you made was very sudden, but I feel like it's one of those moments where the bird leaves the nest. It just has to happen very quickly. Yeah. And it's like you're in your flight or fight mode. Right. And I've never seen you so successful and like power driven. And it just really makes me so happy to know that you're doing what you love to do and you are really making a mark. I love that.
Fucking stop. No, that's so good. Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right, you guys. Let's get to the questions. Let's get to some meat of it, like what people really want to hear and probably haven't heard before, just like little bits and pieces of kind of like our roles. Our roles as where we play in our family. So I'm the oldest sister. I'm the oldest of, I think, 5. I don't know. Somewhere around there. So Jeremy and Zai are 2 of my siblings. So that's the role that I play. What about you, Jeremy? And just so that you guys know, Jeremy and I come from the same mom, and then Ziannah and I come from the same dad. Yeah. And then Jeremy and Zai don't share mom and dad, but they call each other brother and sister.
We're brother and sister. Yeah.
We share a single brain cell.
We sure do.
As far as like the role in our family, I would say I'm a little bit of like a peacemaker. I always look at it from both sides. So like when these 2 are butting heads, I'm always just like, well, how does the other one feel? How do you think they feel? I'm very not passive aggressive. What's the word?
Problematic.
Anti-problematic. I don't like confrontation.
Yep.
But I do love when we all get along. But also, I'm a gay boy, so I just love a little cattiness here and there. So I do bring the shade, I do bring the laughs, I bring the fun. And I would say that's my role in the family.
Okay, I love it. I think for me, I always see myself as the little sibling. We do have a younger brother, but for me, I still kind of envision myself as the baby. He's also the baby, but I think I also play like the role of the mediator. I feel like I'm the one in our family who's like willing to problem solve like right then and there, because I hate when us as siblings fight. Like, I don't care how big it is, how small it is, like I want to fix that shit, if not the day, the next day. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So that goes to my next question, which is rivalries. Are there any rivalries amongst us siblings? So me and Jeremy, we share another brother who is younger than me but older than Jeremy. And then me and Ziannah share 2 more brothers. So it's a little complicated. Our parents had multiple kids, multiple relationships. So do you guys feel like amongst any of that whole family, because we are all a family, are there any rivalries, do you feel?
And I
I feel like between us 3 compared to the rest of our family, no tea, no shade, but I feel like we're the ones that keep it real. We don't talk behind people's backs. We don't have ulterior motives. Mm-hmm. Not saying that other people in our family do, but I do say that we're very genuine with each other and we keep it real. So like if we have a problem with each other, we face it head first. Like we don't sugarcoat things. We don't say something to someone else, our feelings about a person, and then have that fester up and then just build tension. I don't really see that between us. Mm-hmm. But I do feel like we have quite a bit of other problems between other family members.
I would agree. I would say the same. I would feel like if anything, the 3 of us don't let like the family between or the trauma between our families interfere with our sibling relationship. Like ultimately, I feel like we can see ourselves as siblings no matter what the situation is. And I feel like maybe some of our other siblings don't see it like that, if that makes sense.
I love that you say that, like how we can all keep it real, even though there's a lot of other relationships and rivalries and problems, issues amongst each other with other people within the family. Right. We still just try to keep it civil, you know? Mm-hmm. So I'm going to go into what is a lesson that we have learned from each other? I guess with all of this chaos, with all of the family, with everything that's going on, what's one thing that you can say that you have learned from one another? I guess I'm going to go first on this. So what I have learned from my brother Jeremy is he's the type of person that literally keeps it so for real, meaning that if he doesn't fuck with you, you're going to know right off the bat that he doesn't fuck with you because he literally will not even make eye contact with you or have a conversation with you. And it's just 100. It's like no animosity. It's no shade, but he's just real with that. And so I feel like I've learned to be more like that. More like if you don't fuck with somebody, you just don't have to fuck with them. You don't need to play nice. You don't need to have a whole conversation with them, talk too much. You just do your own thing. So I very much admire that about my brother.
Damn, just call me a bitch.
And then with my sister, it's like a balance beam because what I admire about her is the fact that she is a balanced type of person. She very much is so loving and kind of just is the middleman to everything, and she sees everything from all perspectives, and she plays devil's advocate. So that's what I feel like I learned from her.
Cool, I like that. I feel like that's kind of it's like my superpower, but also my downfall at times. You know what I mean? Like I can see everything from all perspectives, but sometimes that can bite me in the ass because I need to be able to stand on one thing, but I'm so busy seeing it from every perspective that it's hard for me to be like, okay, well, what is it that I truly stand on?
That's
You
the
know what I mean?
Gemini in you,
Sometimes
baby.
it's the Gemini in me, yeah. I think for me, I'll start with you, sister. I think for just our family and siblings in general, y'all have taught me so many lessons, but sis, you have taught me just like to not care what anybody fucking thinks. Like, put yourself out there because you're gonna reap the rewards of doing so. You know what I mean? And I think there are so few people like you, so you're just like a rare fucking gem, like through and through. You know what I mean? Like, there's not, I don't know anybody like you. You know what I mean? Somebody who's willing to put themselves on the line and just do what the fuck they need to do because they know they gotta do it, and that's that.
Today's episode is brought to you by Vida Slim, your number one in weight loss and health supplements. My product of the week is going to be the Vida Slim Gut Check, which is super greens. It's a probiotic and it's going to help you de-bloat. It's easy to make. You just mix 1 scoop with water and you drink every single day. Hope you enjoy.
And Jeremy, you have taught me so many things. I'm just grateful to know you as a human. I feel like when we were working together, I still see you as my best friend, but like our prime days, like you're genuinely somebody I could count on and just talk to feel good. And with that being said, I'm trying not to say like, but no, you're just so creative in everything that you do, and it teaches me to not stray away from things that may be unconventional or things that I'm like, maybe, maybe that's too far-fetched because I see you, I see what you do, and you're just an inspiration because you make things happen. You're creative. You're just unlike anybody. Both of you. How did I get such creative siblings? Such amazing siblings. I don't know. But yeah, you're my best friend, and you have taught me just how to love, genuinely.
Thank you so much.
Should we kiss
How
now?
to laugh. It's so sweet. How could I top that? Honestly. Well, I'll start with you. You definitely taught me not to take life so serious. I think
I feel like I've heard this.
like I feel like before I met you and like while we were like getting really close, I was very like serious all the time. Some may say bitter, but I was just always caught up in the moment and not really appreciating life. And you really taught me that. You really taught me to appreciate life and be more spiritual with myself.
Yes.
And I really do love how we can be silly with each other because till this day, nobody can match my energy like
Nobody
Ziannah.
gets me like you get
Nobody
me.
gets me like you get me. And I just love
Not
how
me feeling left the fuck out over here.
it's just like, when you find that one person where you can just act a fucking fool with and
Act a
not even
fool.
feel like embarrassed about it, that's something I can do with Zai, and
Our
I love
cheerleading
that.
dances.
We will do when we work together. Zai would put her camera up and she's like, put on a early 2000s cheer mix, and we just fully go all out.
Do you guys miss working with each other?
Absolutely, I do.
But also you don't, right? Because y'all would get on each other's nerves.
I feel like we wouldn't get on each other's nerves. If anything, it was once in a blue moon. At least for me. Fuck, I probably annoyed you all the time. But I miss working with all of you guys. I think that season of my life was so crucial to who I am today. So I can, like, whenever I come, I just feel at home, always. Because y'all are my people, you know?
Yeah.
If he doesn't start crying, I'm going to be pissed off. I'm telling y'all
Not the
that right
big
now.
back deep breath.
She called me Big Back. Oh, hell no.
I know she
Hell
did
no.
it.
Well, I didn't even get to say what you taught me.
I'm sorry, just forget I said that. It's because you taught me that word big back. So I'm like, hey, trying to use that word big
This
back.
is what I get for teaching Ashley Gen Z terms.
Riffing. Or
She's riffing, I fear.
I fear she is riffing.
But you had taught me, going back to the anti-confrontational part of me, I just always take accountability. I always feel bad for when somebody doesn't like something about me. And you really taught me to not give a fuck, honestly. And it's so uncomfortable, me not giving a fuck about what people think. It's really hard to not take things so serious when someone's upset with me. But you really taught me to put myself first and my feelings first. And I felt like being the anti-confrontational person, I get taken advantage of a lot. People will throw blame on me. And now, recently, I've just been setting up boundaries, which Remember when I came to you and I was crying because I set my first boundary and I was so uncomfortable?
Yes.
I hated it, but I am never looking back because it is so important to set boundaries with people, to make yourself comfortable, to live your authentic self, and to not feel sorry about it because you need to set those boundaries in order to live life comfortably. And there's nothing wrong with it. And I really thank you for that.
Thank you guys. I love that. We all learn something from each other, no matter who's older, who's younger. It's good to learn from your siblings because they're your people. They're always going to be your people.
Period.
Okay, so we've done a lot of positive talk. Now we're gonna get into a little bit more of the emotional side of it, which is
I thought we were about to talk shit.
I'm shaking in my boots right now.
which is basically kind of what I want to talk to every guest that I have going forward, which is kind of what led you here, and what led you here has a lot to do with your traumas. And so I want to know something that has led you to where you are today that you don't want to take with you going forward in life, that you will not pass on to your children, that really just as a child fucked you up.
Fuck.
I remember a moment, a time, a space where that happened and you're like, I will never do this going forward. I don't ever want to see this again.
I feel like with me, I was raised with a bunch of people who did not know how to deal with anger. And looking at my examples growing up, I just thought like it was normal to lash out when you're angry and to immediately put blame on somebody. And when someone did something wrong to you, you just completely lose your shit on them. And it took me a long while to understand that that's not normal and that's not okay. And, I feel like I still have my slip ups, but I've definitely improved on controlling my anger. And I feel like that is definitely something I'm not carrying with me going forward. And I look at myself in the past as examples of not to be that kind of person again.
I can so relate to that just because we come from the same parental experience. And so that anger is so heavy in our family. What about you, Zai?
Ooh, this one's a deep one. I feel like I have two areas that really stick out for me. I feel like when I was maybe 9, I was on a family vacation, and it wasn't even anybody from my direct close line of family, but we were on vacation with this other family. We were walking to breakfast, and I remember talking to an adult, and I was like so excited about what I was saying. I remember vividly. And they kind of just like acted like they heard what I said but disregarded me. And I remember feeling so like disregarded in the moment. You know what I mean?
How old were you? Do you remember?
I think I was about 9 or
about
8.
9 years old. So this goes out to everybody who has a 9-year-old, including myself, that even at that age, they remember now. She's
24
years old. She still remembers that vivid moment when she told an adult how she felt, and she didn't feel like they were.
I don't even remember what I said. I think I was like, I'm excited to go to breakfast, or what are we going to do today, or something like that. And just the way they like looked right through me, and their mind was somewhere totally else, which is bound to happen, right? As an adult, like you have more problems, more responsibilities than a kid does. But I think it's important to be present when you're having conversations with children, because like you said, that's something that still I will never forget. And I never want to make my kids especially feel how I felt in that moment. You know what I mean?
Thank you for sharing that, sister, because that just like resonates with me and Zoe. A lot of the times when I feel like I'm working or I'm not present with her in the moment, how I could make her feel that way and how she could carry that.
Right. And you don't even realize that the kid feels that way in the moment, how heavy it is for the baby. You know what I mean? And they just go on about their day, but it resons, it sticks, it's sticky. You know what I mean? Yeah. The second thing is, for me, I felt like our father definitely raised us with, we never went without. For me, at least in my experience, I never went without any material things, but I felt like I was shown love a lot of the times from my dad in a materialistic way. And I love my dad a lot to the ends of the earth, but for me, I wish I would have had a lot more underneath the surface love than what I did. Because I felt like he was trained that, okay, as long as I'm taking care of my kids materially, they should be good. And I felt like I was always craving something deeper. And for me, I'm breaking the chain of when I have my children, that what makes you rich is that deep connection. You know what I mean? It's not. I said that so weird. Connection. It's about having those hard conversations with your kids and not hushing them up with, let's go here, let's go there, let's do this. It's so much deeper than that, and that's something I want to change for my kids.
That is so deep, you guys, from both of you. I'd have to say that, I can't pinpoint exactly one of my traumas because I have a lot. Like I said, I was the oldest, and so growing up, I grew up a lot of the time kind of more alone, just because Jeremy had our other brother. They were close in age, and Zai had Zach, they were close in age, and I'm the only kid from my mom and dad. Does that make sense, right? So kind of a lot of things I experienced, I almost feel like I experienced them alone. But I get the same traumas with Zai from our dad, and then with Jeremy from our mom, who's bipolar and schizophrenic. Love my parents no matter what at the end of the day, no matter how much shit I talk about them or what I say about them. But my traumas with them were the same things that Jeremy and Zai share. I just feel a little bit more on an elevated level because I was the oldest, because I was the guinea pig, and I was kind of like the trial and error kid. And so a lot of that I harbor. The anger thing I relate to so much with Jeremy, just being so angry all the time, because that was the only way that I knew how to communicate my feelings. I knew no other way besides anger. If I felt joy, in some way I was going to feel anger. If I was sad, in some way I was going to turn that into anger. If I was nervous, in some way I was going to turn that. It always went back to anger because that's all we were taught. So that's something that I don't want to take on, give to my kids. And even till this day, I'm still learning how to get rid of it. And my current marriage is teaching me how that's not working in any relationship that I have. And so every day it's a learning experience. So for all of us, it's like we learn and we grow, and then you have kids and you realize, damn, this is not easy. But we definitely want to break the chain, and that is our goal, and we're going to do that. And there is no maybe it ends with us. Just like the movie, it literally ends with us. Yeah. Good. Love that.
That was deep.
Yes. Okay, so let's get into, we'll lighten the moment. We're going to get into our funniest and embarrassing moments. So,
oh, God.
I don't know if you guys can, we have so many, but I don't know if you guys can think of any off the top of your head.
I already know the one that they're both consecutively thinking of for me. I'm pretty sure I have a good idea.
Please tell us.
Off the top of my head, I can't think of it.
I feel like it might be the same, but please tell me.
I don't think I should. I don't think I'm going to air it out. I'll air it out.
Yes, sure, why not? Bitch, you want to air it out.
Whenever I threw up in your car on Oscar.
Oh my God. Okay.
My God.
First of all, I'm going to back up my sister by saying she was just 21.
I wasn't even 21.
Okay, she was not even
younger.
21.
I was younger, I will say.
We had no business. We were at the club, at the bar, whatever. We were
at the strip. We were at the strip.
What young kids do, siblings having a good time.
We have so many different eras in our family lifetime, and this was our strip era because it was a solid few months where we would always go to the strip.
And if you don't know what the strip is literally a street in San Antonio where all of the gay LGBT community hang out, bars, clubs. A few years ago, that was on poppin'. I'm sure it still is today. But it was just an era back then.
On poppin'?
It was on and poppin'.
Do I sound old?
Just that comment.
Do I sound like I graduated 2007-ish? So Ziannah got drunk and she threw up on Jeremy and Oscar.
To be fair, I only threw up on Oscar. Did I throw up on you?
Oscar?
It throw up sprays, so I might have gone a sprinkle or two on me, but Oscar was the main target.
Okay, hear me out. I was probably 19, 20 at most, and I was drinking an Adios motherfucker. So if you're from San Antonio,
not an Adios motherfucker.
I know. You know what those nasty ass drinks are. Those big blue gallon things. It was not a gallon. It's I don't know. It's a lot. It's like a liter. Yeah, it's a pitcher. Yeah. And I feel really bad because
it really fucking adios motherfucker to you.
The smell lingered in her car for a really long time.
Dude, and I was so upset because I had just got that fucking Tahoe. That shit reeked for forever.
And I'm going to tell y'all what I ate that day because I remember I had...
I'm sure Oscar could tell you too.
I had a tuna sandwich from Subway.
Oh my God.
My God.
Shut the front door, bitch.
And I just remember that whole saga of you trying to get that shit cleaned.
It was horrible. Every time I'd go to the car, I'm like, ugh, and then my kids would be like, Mommy, what's that smell?
Thea had a tuna fish sandwich.
That shit was hilarious.
Well, if we're gonna keep on the theme of strip era, I remember one time we were at the strip and we were living our best life. We were so fucked up, and it was already last call. We're like, "Fuck, we gotta go." We get in the Uber, and Ashley is always the one to like, what are we gonna do next? She's always like turning it up a notch. So we're vibing. The Uber driver's like playing some good jams, and then Ashley had this bright idea of, let's go to the strip club. And
my God,
I've never been to a strip club and never thought about going to a strip club. And she said, let's go to Ecstasy. Wasn't that the name of it? Ecstasy? It was like,
I'm dead. That was erased from my brain right until now.
So we go to Ecstasy, and it's the letter X, the letter T, the letter C. It was like a fever dream, bitch. I was like, where the fuck are we?
First of all, we were best friends with an Uber.
The guy we were vibing. His name was Steve. Steve, if you're watching this, we still love you. Pick us up from here, okay? So we get in the Uber, we're going to Ecstasy, and we're vibing, we're drunk as fuck. We park, and then Ashley's like, you want to come inside with us? How much longer are you going to be here? She's like, come in with us. Let's go. Let's have fun. I'll buy you a lap dance. And that's all the boy needed to hear. So we took him into the club. We took him into the club. And I remember vividly, he got a lap dance, and he was living his best life. Little old Steve. Oscar, my man, also got a lap dance.
I got a lap dance too, baby.
You got a lap dance too?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody got a lap dance except for me, apparently.
Why didn't you get one?
I was living for everybody else getting a lap dance. I just remember vividly, Oscar was getting a lap dance from this beautiful girl. And the song Hotel California came on, which is Oscar's song. That's like Oscar's soul song. When that song came up, all I could think about was like, oh my God, God is giving him a sign that he needs to be straight. Because out of all times a song could come on, that song came on when he was getting a lap dance. It was insane. But I think what I remember, I was probably hitting up the buffet. Because a strip club always has a nice buffet.
Oh my God.
So I was probably eating while everyone was getting a lap dance.
You gotta tell them what happened after. Don't fucking do me like that.
What happened?
So everybody's having a grand time. Everybody got their lap dance. It's time for us to go back to Steve's car. As we're going back to Steve's car, everybody's in the vehicle, right? All of a sudden, Jeremy throws up in Steve's Uber.
It wasn't me.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. And I remember it was like he had leather. I'm pretty sure everything was leather.
Hey, Steve's car, by the way, was immaculate.
It was a clean ass car, and he just goes bloop everywhere. And my sister's like, Steve, I'm so sorry. We're going to pay to get it cleaned. You sent him money to clean his car.
I did.
You sent him like $150 to get it detailed.
I felt so bad. He was so sweet. Steve, did y'all mention that Steve was at the strip club with us getting a lap dance?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I have Steve's number.
Steve, where you at?
I remember he
on the podcast.
He had followed us on Instagram after that shortly. But yeah, we threw up in his car. I said we threw up in his car. I threw up in his car. But yeah, that was a good time. Do you have any?
I have one about sister.
Oh, let's hear it.
Oh my God.
Mind you, this is our party era. We're not like this anymore. We are very mature now, right? Very mature. Okay, so also at the strip, we were in a bar. I don't remember which bar, but it wasn't one we went to often. And this fight broke out of these two girls.
Oh, high tones.
We were at high tones. So these girls are pulling hair, making a scene, and they didn't have anything to do with us. And my sister ends up getting in their fight, and I just remember looking back and seeing her in the fight. I'm like, what the fuck is she doing? She has no business in that fight.
Okay, so I specifically remember that, and I remember we were having a great fucking time. We were vibing. It was Jeremy and Oscar were dancing, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, these two girls just start fighting. And then it pisses me off because they're fighting right next to Jeremy and Oscar. And I'm like, oh no, Jeremy and Oscar are having a great time. Y'all motherfuckers are not about to fight right here.
You ain't about to ruin my night.
Yeah. So I got in the mix, and I started fighting with them too.
Threw a few punches.
The POV that I had was spectacular. It was me and Oscar dancing on the dance floor. These two girls bump into us, and they are going at it. And then I just see a third set of hands just go, and I look, I'm like, Ashley, what are you doing?
She doesn't even go here.
She doesn't even go here.
That's not me anymore, you guys. I've grown up since then.
Yeah, I will say that's.
But
these
people-
are.
I still
younger
miss
girls.
those moments.
memories, I know. Those are okay. I have one more. Same location.
Cassie.
Oscar knows exactly what I'm talking about. So, same place at the Strip. I remember coming out. It was past 2:00. Me and my cousin, all of us were there, and I just remember my cousin, or actually, I think somebody bumped me. And then I said, did the whole "excuse me, bitch" kind of thing. Excuse me, bitch. You know, like watch where you're going. And she pulls out a gun, and then so my cut's horrible, right? Like now that I look back, I'm like, oh my god, you know. I think about my kids now, but
I wasn't there that night.
You were there that night, sister?
I was not.
I can't believe you weren't there. If you were there, it would have went out different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Oscar kind of, which is Jeremy's partner, gets in for me and tells the girl like, "Hey, I don't know what happened, but Oscar, was that you or was that Cassie?"
I just remember Oscar saying,
That was you. You're about to make her eat the cement. No joke.
that
No,
part.
he literally said that. He said, "I'm gonna make you bite the curb, bitch."
Yeah. It was just a mess. It stopped. Okay.
Still going.
But those were a lot of good memories at the Strip. We'll never forget those. And Oscar even got into a fight that one night too. You remember?
You got
Oh
arrested.
yeah.
Yeah. It was crazy. Never again will we get to experience that. So
I know.
Never again.
who knows? You want to go next week? No,
I
I'm just
know.
kidding. Okay. All right. We are gonna move on to family values and traditions. Do we have any family values and traditions?
Traditions. I want to get into our next era, which was prank war era.
That was what I was gonna say.
So one of my favorite pranks I have to talk about. This was our first location for Vita Slim. It was on Weir Avenue and on the south side, right? West side?
West side. Yeah.
West side. And so we were heavily into pranks. We still kind of are into pranks, but I will say nothing will top how extreme we went for this prank. Ashley was coming to work a little later, so it was me, Ziannah, Oscar, and Cassie, our cousin. We were all working.
I just want to say that I hate y'all and I will never forgive you guys for this.
We were all working. We're just like, let's fuck with Ashley. We know she's on the way. Let's fuck with her. And we just came up with this wild idea of let's pretend that the office is getting ransacked and we're getting robbed. We're being held at gunpoint.
This is some of my best work, like absolute best work.
Honestly. So we were like, okay, let's tie all of ourselves up. Let's go, like, put us in the back. We'll have a couple out here in the front.
Duct tape on the mouth.
Duct tape on the mouth, everything. So when she comes in, we're gonna like, no, don't come in. Like we're like being tied up. There's somebody here with a gun. Like that.
They went all out. It was a full-on fucking crime scene.
And I also want to say, like, this is when I really found out that Ziannah was like Meryl Streep and that she is working on her Academy Award.
No,
because
seriously.
I just gave them a quick prompt, like, okay, you're being held at gunpoint, you're tied up. When Ashley gets here, you're just like gonna freak out. So that's gonna scare her, right? So we're all just like, Zai comes in, she sold that shit. I feel like if Zai didn't do that, Ashley wouldn't have really believed it. Ashley's face when she walked in, she's just like, hey guys, and we had our other cousin, big boy, we put a mask on him and we gave him like a fake gun and he started charging at her. You know, I always thought Ashley was the type to take a bullet for us.
I thought so too.
Her initial reaction was, oh my god, I gotta get out of here. She turns the fuck around and runs out. She books it.
I was gonna go call the cops.
She is lying. She was not gonna go call the cops.
Y'all, this was like the best. It did not look staged. It looked like they were really like about to get murdered.
Like 100% you believed it.
100% I believed it, and I just thought like he was gonna kill me, and so I had to run.
I think that is definitely like the number one prank we've done in the history of our family.
Yeah, so that is a family tradition, is prank wars. We like to do that once a year where we just pick, I don't know, random fucking month and start playing pranks on each other.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't done it in a while because we don't work together anymore, but somehow we need to bring that shit back.
We
need to
do.
bring that
Bring
shit
it
back.
back.
What's our second best prank? I think for me and Sis, it was post-noting your car.
Oh, that was so
fucked
good.
up.
That took a long time. It probably took us like an hour, and we were sitting outside of his house just putting Post-its all over his vehicle.
And you can actually see that prank on the Vita Loca channel that was actually filmed. And the craziest part is during that hour, they were at our house in our little driveway, put about 1,000 Post-it notes on a Dodge Charger. And we were in the living room watching TV when that happened, which was like 20 feet away. So I have no idea how we did not catch that. That was before we got like our Ring cameras and shit. But like, y'all pulled that shit out. Y'all were like ninjas.
That was like one of the highlights of my life.
We had the bandanas. We came in with like the little outfits. It was fun.
We had our camera guy.
We did.
It was
the full crew was out there. It was fun.
That was everything.
Okay, so we're gonna go to any advice that you have for your younger self.
Ooh, I need to let this one simmer.
I guess I'll go first. So some advice that I would say that I have for myself is to always look forward and know that there are better days ahead, and to stop believing what other people believe about you because they don't even believe in themselves. And the next thing that I would really give advice to myself is just truly, truly love yourself. You have to love yourself before anybody else can love you.
Those are good. Mine, something that really resonated with me lately is what's for you will not pass you. And that's something that just hits home. That's very special to me. Another one is his will, not mine. For me, I recently got deeper in my faith. And so I just know like his will over my life is something so much greater than what I could ever envision for my life. So just seeking God at an early age. I have one more. No, I don't. Here you
go. Both of what y'all said is really good. Another one I would add is if I could really talk to my younger self, I would say it is okay to be yourself and do not be ashamed of who you are, because it took me a long time to appreciate and love myself and to really fully be myself. And that was so hard for me to do, but I had so much support on the outside with my family, my friends, but still I could not comprehend that. I couldn't really understand that I would be so much happier if I just let go of what people thought of me and letting people down or anything like that. Like, be yourself, number one. Another one is, because I am a very hard worker, I do want to say appreciate life, take breaks, and surround yourself with family and friends. I feel like I am like 1,000 miles an hour. Even when I was little, I'm always doing something, always busy, but I really need to tell myself now and then to appreciate life.
I have one more. That was really good, by the way.
Thank you.
I feel that 1,000%. Mine is you're not your trauma. I feel like especially in my high school years, I went through a lot of stuff with my brother, and I felt like it was really hard for me to separate that experience and how that made me feel from who I actually am. So just reminding myself that that's not who I am. That's just something I've experienced.
Yeah,
and to let
I
that
really
go.
love that one too.
I love
Thank
that.
I'm just kidding.
Some deep words. Okay, so before we go, I want to get into most likely to.
Ooh, come on,
we have
superlatives.
a few most likely to, so
This is fun.
we're going to go with who is most likely to get arrested.
Sister. Off the bat, sister.
Definitely Ashley.
Only because I already have, and and
That's for another podcast
that's for a whole
episode.
other fucking podcast.
It is.
Okay.
Part two.
Most likely to flake.
Journey.
Funny.
It used to be me. It's not me
I
anymore.
was just about to say it was definitely you,
Mhm.
and still is you. But I'll
No,
take that
no,
crown.
it's not.
I'll wear that. I'll be that. I'll be
Put
that.
that on your head, babe.
Okay, we have most likely to get into a fight.
I feel like it's between me or sis.
Yeah.
I would agree. Jeremy is not a fighter unless he really has to, but that takes a long ass time.
Yeah.
I'd be the first one to get into a fight, and then my sister would right after jump in.
Yeah, for sure.
And I feel like it's very different too. I feel like you would fight right off the bat, whereas like with Zaya, she'll fight with like her
I'll
words
fight
first.
with intention. Yeah, I feel like it would take a lot, but not that much. Like as soon as you flip that switch on me,
Very
that Zamora
true.
blood comes out.
That is true. That is the flip of a switch for Zaya.
I didn't get
like,
that.
She is so
Zamora
nice
blood.
to you until she's not.
There we go.
Who is most likely to not apologize?
Ashley.
That part. It's the Leo in her. You're working on it. I'll give you that. But
Yeah,
Really,
you're
guys?
working on it.
girl, I probably gotten.
What's your answer?
My apology. My answer is that I apologize in my head to you.
That tells it all, guys.
I feel like the entire time I've known Ashley, which is my entire life, I've probably gotten like 3 apologies from her.
Me too. Hey, how many do you want? I promise I'm working on it.
No, you are. No, you really are. Because,
We're good?
yeah, we're good.
Okay.
You really are. I feel like back then, we haven't really gotten into many fights. But I feel like the fights we've gotten into was maybe something similar to that situation. But you've definitely worked on that.
But I will say, like, I'm very hard-headed. I am not the first one to apologize. I am definitely trying to work on that because I realize that is not a cute trait. Like, it's not a good thing. I want to be kind. I want to be soft. But I feel like that you have to learn that. You have to unlearn your old habits. And so I'm working on that.
And that's on what? Self-awareness.
Yeah,
That's
self-awareness.
on self-awareness. Okay, so who is most likely to Zai? You say the next one.
Oh, okay. Who's most likely to? Damn, putting me on the spot, bro. We're gonna have to trim. Okay. Who's most likely to get drunk the quickest?
Jeremy.
Quickest?
Sister.
I think
It's
you,
me?
because you don't drink that often
that's what I
anymore.
Okay.
Mine was kind of
I'm most likely to drink, but
It's me. I'm the lightweight.
Yeah.
I'll get pretty fast.
at this point in time.
Yeah.
Right.
Who's next? I think y'all are on equal level.
Equal level.
I think so. But I feel like
feel
you
like-
have a more endurance than I do.
That's what I'm saying. I think my tolerance is like a smidge bigger than yours.
Yeah.
What about you, Jeremy? Who is most likely to what?
Who's most likely to have a heart-to-heart when they're drinking?
You.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Me?
you.
Yeah.
Aww.
Yeah.
You
I love having
guys.
heart to heart.
Yes.
We'll start with the you guys. I love you.
Or it'll be like, can I just say?
Yeah, that one. That's
I
true.
live for a fucking heart to heart.
I love me a
I
heart-to-heart.
can't wait till our next heart to heart, honey.
Me too.
We should have titled this podcast the Heart-to-Heart episode.
So before we go, I want to make sure that you guys let people know where they can follow you, where they can find you to stay up to date on what you are doing now in life. This will not be our last podcast together. This is just the first of many.
Just a warm-up episode. All right, so if you want to find me on socials, my Instagram is ZIANNNAH. You can find me on Facebook at Ziannah Zamora. And I work with Maloof International Group here in San Antonio. We're the #1 team in Keller Williams in the whole world. So with that being said, if you need help buying, selling, or investing, feel free to connect with me, and I'd love to do some business with you.
Love it.
Yeah.
Period. You can find me on social media all the time. On Instagram, I have 2 platforms. One of them is my business. That is at I'm Bloody Blush. I am Bloody Blush. That's the name of my company. And you'll find lots of handmade creations there. You'll always catch me posting on my stories about markets that I'm at, which is every single weekend. And then my personal Instagram is It's Bloody Babe. That's where I'll post all my drag performances, flyers for all my events coming up regarding drag and selling my stuff. And my website where you can purchase my handmade creations is bloodyblush.com.
I love that. You guys sound like y'all are professionals. Y'all are the professionals. So this is not going to be the last time that we do this. I look forward to having my brother and sister again on the Be So For Real podcast. But for now, that is a wrap. Thank you guys for joining us. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Motivate Me Ashley. Follow me on TikTok and on Facebook, Motivate Me Ashley. And until next time, be so for real.
Be so for real.
Be so for real. That's a wrap.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.